understand, I'll explain some more. On the count of three, now here we go. The sound's kinda special, yes indeed. From the bit TX and the SAT, represent with pride and we spread our wings. I guess that's why people hate on me, but it can't be stopped, man, no siree. We're gonna keep going and we sound so clean. Though it ain't no must, it's just routine. I ain't speaking here now just for me, but for the whole down south, man, and all the G. We're taking over things sick, yes siree. So player, come and see what we got down here, ain't nothing to sneak. Though it seems a breeze, but you trust in me, things ain't always what it seems to be. So watch and learn, take your notes and see how this place down here is for royalty. Keep your hands to yourself and you're on your own. See down here, man, we standing strong.
Life in the penitentiary. You know, I'm past 8 years of being out of the joint, man. And by the grace of God, it's a blessing, because for many years of my life, prison and the system was a revolving door for your boy Jay, man. I was always in and out, you know what I'm saying, as a career criminal. I broke the law every single day, you know. Every time I woke up, I was serving, bro. You know, I wake up, you know, smoking my sags and, you know, seeing what kind of schemes I could come up with, man. Whether it was selling cocaine, crack, heroin, meth, you know, moving packs, hitting licks. You know, whatever the hell it came my way, I was taking it, man. So I've been out of the joint 8 years, but I can still recall, you know, like life in the penitentiary. And life in the penitentiary for me was all revolved around this right here, man. You know what I'm saying? Music. I couldn't, you know what I'm saying, do my time without my music, man. I needed to have my radio, and you know what I'm saying, that I'd say was the majority of the way I spent my time in prison, man, was listening to music, bro. I just had to have my jams, you know what I'm saying? My kind of music I like, you know what I'm saying, I like gangster rap. I like jazz, R&B, you know, a little bit of Tejano. So, you know what I'm saying, I would listen to local stations because that's all we really had. When I was doing my time, we didn't have MP3s like they got now. So you boys that nowadays that got MP3s and all that, man, good thing for you guys. You know, I always did my time, you know what I'm saying, in maximum security prison. So I wasn't in the lows or the camps. I heard these guys have a lot more privileges than the highs and the mediums. You know, my first joint I ever touched down in was Usp Florence, but I also been FCI Forrest City, which was the medium. You know, that's where I was at. And you know what I'm saying, life in the penitentiary, it's gonna be different for everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things gonna come into play, whether you affiliated or you're not affiliated. That's gonna make, you know what I mean, a big difference in how you do your time, bro. But you know what I'm saying, through my juvenile years and my adult years of doing time, you know what I'm saying, I was always affiliated. You know what I'm saying? So I was always on routine, on a schedule, on program. You know what I'm saying? I was always programming with the brothers, man. And so your mornings are always going to consist on reporting to your people, man. You're going to want to go and talk to your homeboys first thing in the morning, man. That should be your number one priority, is to go meet up with the brothers. You're going to want to go talk to your people, man, to make sure that nobody's gone to the shoe. Nobody's gotten, you know what I mean, any kind of incidents, you know. Roll call. You know, and the roll call is going to consist in the mornings and the afternoon and at night. When you're programming, they're going to want to see you, like, throughout the day, you know what I mean? But I like to do my time listening to the radio, working out. You know, I do my little burpees with the brothers, and sometimes I go out and work out by myself. I like to read a lot of books, so I go to the library. You know, at FCI Forrest City, they actually had this program that actually helps you, like, with stinking thinking. you know, there's these little videos you see, and you know, you write these little tests that they give you. So I spent a lot of my time doing that. I spent a lot of time in my cell also, man, just you know, drawing, writing letters. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty much how I spent my time, man. But the big difference from the USP to the FCI, the USP in Florence, we were always on lockdown. Over 70% of my bid I did in a cell on lockdown. You know what I'm saying? There was no programming or none of that, man. Somebody was always getting shanked. Somebody was always getting hit up, wet up. And they would lock the whole compound down. The whole ranch would go on lockdown. You know what I'm saying? And lockdowns can last 2 weeks, a month. You know, then afterwards they pop the doors open. They start off opening the compound slowly. One unit, like basically like the unit would be open. That's how they would open it up. And then after a couple of days, they'd open the whole yard up. But it would never last, man. Every time we'd come off a lockdown, we had to go straight to canteen, to a commissary, and go get all our stuff, because it's just a matter of time before we go back on lockdown. You know, and that was my experience. Maybe some of you cats that been to the USP can relate. Leave a comment down below and tell me what it was like for you, man. Because for me, that's how I rolled. That's how it went down, homie. It was going to be all lockdown, man. And in the USP, they didn't play no games, homie. Like, it's all about that knife play. I hardly saw any fights. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I didn't see any fights. You know, and at FCI Forrest City, I don't think we run a lockdown maybe, but one time, the whole time I was there, man. So at the medium, it was hardly any lockdown, man. You know what I'm saying? That, like, I did most of my time programming on the yard, you know. And, you know what I'm saying? So it was a huge difference. I actually enjoyed my time a lot better at the USP. Just because there was a lot more respect and everybody was, like, a lot more serious, man. You know what I mean? It's like, it was totally different, man. It was nothing the same. But the benefit of being in the medium was I actually got to, you know, walk the yard a lot more. And, you know, program and talk to a lot more homeboys. You know, I had a job at the rec yard. But the job was like a Mickey Mouse job, man. I didn't really do shit, just walk around and see if there's any trash or stuff. So I'd get paid like $12 a month, but I wasn't really doing it, you know what I mean? But, you know, in the yard, they have, when you go out there, you're going to see everybody on the handball court. The handball is like one of the main places where all the raza be at. That's where they're going to spend their majority of their time, is on that handball court. You know, I honestly needed glasses for years and I never got them. You know, I just didn't want to wear them. I didn't have contacts, nothing, but, you know, my vision really started getting really bad right before I went to the medium. So I couldn't see shit, man, like nothing, bro. Like, you know, my whole vision's, bro, I'm wearing contacts right now. And, so I stayed away from the handball court because I couldn't see. I stayed away from the basketball court. I couldn't see. You know what I mean? Not well, anyway. So, you know, you're going to see a lot of the brothers and the whites in the basketball court. You know, and that's where they're going to spend the majority of their time. You know, so sports and working out is a major key program for all inmates. If you really bout it, if you programming, even if you're not running with nobody, man, and you just a solo, you're going to spend your time working out, homeboy, or playing sports. Football, basket, handball, soccer. Like, that's what you're going to spend your time doing, man. You know, there ain't too many things going down in the joint. They also had this, like, Velcro class where it was, like, they'd make leather stuff, like wallets and purses. I forgot what the hell it was called, but, you know, a lot of the brothers spend their time doing that, you know, and just other people from other cards, you know. But In USP Florence, the Sureños had the yard, man. When I was there, like they had the majority of the numbers, so they dictated a lot of the stuff that went down there. You know what I mean? But there was also Letra from Texas, you know, and they basically shared the compound. That's how it went down. Uh, there was a few tangos that the Letra had put under their wing, you know, that they were holding down there, you know, and there was a whole lot of natives. And it was crazy because my next door cellie in USP Florence, he actually was a native. I think his name was Tom, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, in USP Florence, they had a whole section, like a piece of the yard. I'd say it was like maybe 10% of the yard, but it was gated. And on certain days, they would let them go in there and start a fire. You know, the natives were allowed to actually make a fire on the yard. And they had a teepee and they put rocks in there like a sweat lodge. And I asked my neighbor, I was like, man, that looks cool. I was asking him questions about it. And he said, I mean, you know, answering all my questions and stuff. He's like, would you like to come check it out? I was like, hell yeah, I'd like to come check it out. He says, you brown? I mean, I can go, you know, I can invite you. You can come. You know what I'm saying? So he invited me after I had been asking several questions. So my first time in the sweat lodge, everybody introduced themselves, all the Native Americans, you know, and I introduced myself, and we all in there, and they bringing the rocks in, and they told me specifically, there was like, do not exit the womb until until it's open. You know what I mean? So that was a major thing. They didn't want nobody coming out. Once it closed, everybody got to stay in there for the duration of the time. So while we're in there, they pass a peace pipe, and you got to hit the peace pipe, and you got to pass it. But when you pass it, you got to pass it like this. You know what I mean? You can't like all this it has to be passed like, bam, a certain way, like straight. So that's how they pass it to you. You've got to keep passing it. You know, and then the chief that's in there, he's saying a prayer, you know, doing his chants. And we're all in there, and you know what I'm saying, meditation. I'm sweating, we sweating. I think it was a good 20, 30 minutes we're in there. And it was an experience that I'll never forget. And I actually really enjoyed it so much that I started going regularly. I think I went about 5, 6 different times. You know, mind you, we were always on lockdown, so I would go when there was the opportunity to go. And I didn't do but over a year in Florence anyhow, so I didn't really do that much time in Florence. And when I was talking to the brothers, you know, a lot of the brothers were doing serious time. Only me and Blaze had like the shortest time. Blaze, I think, had like a 5-year sentence. And, you know, I had a 2-year sentence. So they were freaking out because when I got there, I had like almost a year, like, you know what I mean? I think it was like 14 months left when I got there. So the brothers were tripping out, you know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck you doing here, you know what I mean? I was like, man, your guess is as good as mine. I said, the only thing I can think of is, you know, I had a prior conviction for attempted murder on 3 police officers. You know, so I'm thinking that case actually, you know, was the reason that, you know, I got sent to a maximum security prison at 19 with a 2-year sentence, you know. So, you know, I got released. I went to the halfway house, and I'll shoot a video telling you boys about the Laredo halfway house for the federal joint. So, you know, I did 6 months there. I actually got kicked out of the halfway house and did the rest of my time in the county jail. Came out, moved to San Antonio, Texas, and was out for about 4 months before I caught another case and ended up going back to the feds on new charges. It wasn't even a violation, it was just a new charge. My probation officer in San Antonio was a brother, was a black guy. But this guy he used to crack me up, man, because I'd come in there, you know, talking loud, like I'm talking now. Not too fast, but loud, and I'd walk into his office and I'm talking, he'd go, shh. He always had the jazz music real low. He like, talk slow, man. You know, He used to crack me up. He was cool as a fan though, man, honestly. And he was like a senior probation officer. He had been like a PO for like 20, 30 years. So he wasn't a rookie by no means. He was real laid back, real chill. But every time I went in there, he had to kind of like quiet me down and told me like to talk low and slow. You know, he really was like a jazzy type of PO. And honestly, that was probably the best PO I ever had. Like he was cool as a fan. But you know, I ended up catching another case, and you know, went through the whole ordeal, the process of you know getting resentenced and all that crap. So by the time I got you know sent to the prison, I ended up going to FCI Forrest City, the medium. And in the medium, I mean, I was blessed to actually get there with another brother. This brother was from Texas also. Bully was his name. So I actually ended up going to FCI Forrest City with Bully. And the crazy thing is, we on the same plane, we on the same bus, headed to the same place, sitting side by side, and we both from the same affiliation. So I was really blessed in that sense. And not only that, we ended up landing in the same freaking dorm. So Bully was actually my right-hand man through the whole FCI Forrest City second bid. You know, and we both, when we got to the same dorm, we ended up going to different cells. You know, he was in one cell, I was in another cell. But within a couple of weeks, we had our own cell, and we were cellmates. You know, we were roommates. We had the same cell. So that was a real blessing versus, you know, in Florence, I never had my own cell. I always celled up con la letra de Texas. But in FCI Forrest City, we had our own cell. This was a nation cell. You know, and me and Bully did our whole bit there together, man. Bully actually left before I did. He got sent to the low because his points dropped. So he got shipped from the medium to the low. You know, Forest City, I think, has 3 yards. The medium, the low, and the camp. So he got sent there about a month prior that my release date when I went to the halfway house. But through my whole duration, you know what I mean, we had brothers from all over the nation, you know. I think it was about 12 of us there. And, you know, the ones that were from Texas, you know, there was quite a bit of us. But, you know what I mean, it was just, you know, if you could just picture, man, having an organization with affiliates from every single state, you know, nationwide, you know, people are going to have different kind of swag, different kind of culture backgrounds, different kind of characteristics. So you put them all together in an organization, and it's not always going to be a pretty thing. You know, we had several different issues amongst ourselves, and, you know, we'd have to work that out, you know what I mean? There were several different occasions where, you know what I mean, we're bumping heads with our own brothers, you know? And, you know what I'm saying, I always had Bully's back because, you know what I mean, we got there together. I said, we're going to leave together. But even me and the brother, you know what I'm saying, had issues in the cell. There was a couple of times that we almost got into it, you know what I mean? Yeah, we just, like, living with another man, even if you're in the same organization, even if you're, you know, the best of friends, you're going to have fallouts, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, that's just part of the territory. So, you know, we had to work that out, and we had to look past that and get over it. But one of the main things that used to really just, and I could still remember this, thinking back on it today with you guys. He would like to play his music loud at night and paint. You know, he would paint these canvases. And he'd like to go to sleep 2, 3 in the morning with the music loud. And I'd be like, nah, brother, you're going to have to turn that shit down, you know what I'm saying? But Bully at that time, I think he was like close to 40 years old. And I think I was like 22, you know. I believe I was like 22 at the time. So, you know what I mean? Needless to say, he always ended up getting the better hand and having it his way. You know, he was doing like a 6 or 7 year bid, you know, and I was doing a 3-year bid. So, but when we met, he was actually almost done with it. He had like a few years left, and, you know, I had like a couple. So, you know, I basically had to let him, you know, have his way the majority of the time in the cell. You know, there was just a couple instances where I had it, and you know what I mean. We almost got into a fight a couple times, but you know what I'm saying. The brother actually, you know, he had uh, restrained himself from actually, you know, getting into a physical altercation with me because I was all up in his face a couple of times, and you know what I mean. We just didn't, you know. He was like, "Man, you lucky you a brother, man. I would have knocked your ass out already." And I'd be like, "What's up, man? What's up? What's up?" So shout out to Bully. If you ever watch this video, man, saludos, carnal. Was a good brother, you know. And the crazy thing is, like, you know, ever since I've been out of the joint, you know, it's like, it always feels like it was just yesterday that I got released. Because, you know, I always take my time to appreciate my freedom. You know what I'm saying? Because for years I didn't have it. I took it for granted. I was always losing it. So, you know what I mean? I'm always living my life like I just got out yesterday. You know what I mean? I don't play my life by no means on no petty shit, man. You know what I mean? I live my life to the fullest ability possible. You know, I love to have fun. I love my music, you know what I'm saying? Like most people will. You know, music is a big thing in my life, you know, to this day. You know, there's not a day that goes by that I don't be listening to music, you know, just like in the joint. So music was pretty much, you know, my thing, if you would. And, you know, it's something that, I never want to lose my freedom ever again, homie, for nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I could ever see myself losing my freedom again for is, you know, catching a body. For somebody, you know, messing with my kids or messing with my family, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or in self-defense. Or getting set up and framed, you know, that's about it. But as far as selling dope, hitting licks, you know, living a gangster criminal lifestyle, them days is over, man. You know, I don't rock that way no more. You know, I've been out of the joint for 8 years. And out of those 8 years, 7 of them, I was a hardcore criminal. I was out here breaking the law, hitting licks, selling dope. You know, I didn't change, bro. And I've been baptized 2 different times since I've been out. I've been going to church for about 6 years now. And I didn't even change my ways until about a year ago. So I just want you guys to know that God is amazing, bro. God is worthy of our praise and our honor. You know, through His grace, He's blessed me with 3 beautiful children. You know, He's kept me free when I didn't deserve to be free, you know. He's blessed me and kept me with my family when I didn't deserve them. You know, He's restored my sanity when I lost it. When I was self-destructive, He saved me from that. When I was trapped in the snares of greed, He pulled me out of it. You know, and I just need you guys to understand that change does not come overnight. You know, take it from my testimony that it's a process. You know, and I'm still battling with wrath, with lust, and pride. I'm still battling with these 3 sins, you know. I always like to say it like this. 1 sin at a time, you know what I mean? God's not going to save you from all your sins all at one time. That is not my experience. There might be people out there that can say, well, my experience was I got baptized, you know, I got saved and I turned into a saint. You know, sin was not in my heart no more, no kind of sin. And I turned into an angel. That has not been my experience, bro. And I'm not going to lie to y'all and come out here on this video and start stunning like it was. I'm not going to do it, bro. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to go ahead and enlighten you guys on what has happened. You know, I don't sell drugs no more, which is something that I always loved doing, bro. Alright? It's not that I was forced to sell drugs. I chose to sell drugs. And I loved it, bro. I love selling cocaine. I love selling pounds of weed. I love selling heroin. I love selling crack. I love selling meth. I love selling prostitutes, bro. I was in love with the lifestyle. I love robbing cats, man. hitting licks, putting pistols up on boys and jacking them for their stuff, man. I was in love with it, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not in love with it no more, homie. I have no desire in my heart to ever do that to anybody ever again, or to live that kind of a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? God saved me from that, bro. And it took many years for me to snap out of it and get saved from that, but it has happened. So, saludos, adios. Another thing that's happened, you know what I mean, I'm not self-destructive no more. I'm not suicidal. I'm not out here, you know what I mean, exploding on society with, you know what I'm saying, violence and destruction. You know, I don't abuse alcohol. I don't abuse drugs no more. I do cigarettes, you know, because I used to smoke occasionally. I don't even do that no more. You know what I mean? So that's been something that God's worked in my heart, in my life amazingly. And to me, it's a miracle because I always loved selling dope. You know what I mean? Even when I was going to church, even when I had got baptized the first time. I got baptized and then went home and bought like a quarter brick of some yo and started breaking it down into eighths and zones. You know what I mean? So God really worked that out in my life. And he can do a miracle in your life too, homie. You choose him, he's going to choose you. So, long story short, man. Prison ain't a place you boys want to be, man. You know what I'm saying? And it kills me because, you know, I still have ties with a lot of the brothers and I still holler at them, you know what I mean? We still chop it up. And what really kills me is when I hear other brothers say, hey, man, this brother ain't good or that brother ain't good. You know, this brother did this or this brother did that. Stay away if he's not in good standings. That's just something that I don't really like hearing, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, nobody's perfect, homie. Nobody's perfect, man. Unless a brother molested a little kid or has a sex offender crime or snitched on somebody, I don't want to hear it, man. Anything other than that, you know, it's petty problems that should be ironed out. We're grown men where we can, you know what I mean? We should be able to work differences out. We could agree to disagree. So if you have a king brother, you're from another affiliation and you got a problem with another brother because he said something foul or, you know, because you don't like the way he looked at you or you don't like the way he carries himself. Those are petty nonsense problems, man, that shouldn't be a factor in you, you know what I'm saying, discrediting another brother, man. Like I said, there's only a few things that will get me to where I don't really want a brother around, you know what I'm saying. Other than that, you know, I wish love and fortune for everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? Good health and prosperity to all, man. But, you know what I'm saying, I just want to give a shout out to my carnal Bully. You know what I'm saying? And to all the brothers that run across this video, man, amor. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else out there from another affiliation, mad respect, homie. You know, we getting close to Christmas, man. So, you boys, you know what I'm saying, 2020 is right around the corner after that. You know, it's not just another year, it's a whole nother decade, man. So, the way you finish off a year is more than likely the way you're going to enter it. And the way you're going to finish it off all over again. So what that means is, whatever you're doing a week before the year begins, is more than likely the way you're going to finish it off, you know, the next year. You know, so I highly encourage you guys to start your New Year's resolution now. Don't wait till the new year. If you have plans on quitting alcohol, quit today. If you have plans on quitting drugs, quit today. If you have plans on getting this money, start today. If you have plans on getting healthy, getting fit, then start today.